People who turned off their PC when it was updating, what happened? I accidentally the internet. Bill Gates ordered Apple to send the Geek Squad after me. They found me by backtracing my locations. Consequences were never the same. I fell in love with a woman but she stabbed me in the front. I lost my OS. But that made me discover Linux. So a win, COVID. The next morning, Trump was POTUS 45. Modern operating systems are pretty good at never being in a state where loss of power could break things. This is part of why installs and updates take so long. It's not just copying files, it's moving things around in such a way that booting from the files on disk always works, and continues the update. Modern file systems are similar. You're probably not going to break them by killing power without unmounting. The warnings persist, however, because it's still more likely to break in these situations than at other times. Wormhole causing Hitler to be able to time travel back to his time and win SMH. Call Kung Fury. PLEASEIO2HELPMEPLEASCKIIO2. LLMEITIO2HURTSIIO2MIO2IO2SORRY. A nuclear warhead impacted my estate. My eyebrows still haven't grown back fully. It just paused the process. When I turned it on, it started updating again. Just a disaster. So much unnecessary cheese that doesn't even taste like cheese, just awful. Way too many layers, the sauce isn't even good half the time, and it's so overrated. I fucking hate lasagna. Shit, sorry, what was the question? I fell asleep and had to undergo a system reboot. When it booted back up, it had to do some restoration process that took several hours. After that, it worked just fine. Blue screen error. Vonnegut wrote about this, he calls it Ice 9. I've seen it cause BSOD a few times. Booted in safe mode. Loaded a restore point. Completed update. When you turn it back on, it just continues with the insanity. Judgment Day happened. I had one lose power during an update. Nothing significant happened. I think PCs have features that manage those situations. It readied the update. This is the most correct and realistic option. Developers know that the update cycle is not going to be perfect, so they tend to code things to go as smoothly as possible. Windows 10 is one of the better examples of this. I think the worst thing that will happen is you will damage a core operating system file that is being updated. But that is unlikely. Everything probably has a redundancy in it to just reinitialize the update cycle. And even HDDs are more resilient. A sudden power loss takes just enough time for the motherboard to send a signal to park the read/write heads. SSDs are immune from power failures, they just stop read/write. As a tech, I can answer this. See, there are parts of the update process that can be shut down on. But you really don't want to do this, as the update process will sometimes, by necessity, wipe the system cache. If you shut down at the wrong time, only a Windows 10 reset will save your PC. Sometimes if you lose power during an update, your PC will reboot into recovery, reboot 2 to 3 more times, and then take you back to Windows. You will have to do that Windows update again though. Sometimes the update can get stuck at 33% or 30% or 70%. If it stays for a really long time, like more than 45 minutes, then force reboot and pray. Funnily enough, people at my company do not make this mistake twice. If someone shuts down a PC during an update because it was taking too long, then they have to pay to ship it back. Well, their business unit has to pay, which affects their quarterly bonuses. Their direct manager is in charge of bonus percentages and is allowed to take 100% of these fees out of bonuses. If you are on Windows 7 or Windows XP, then you are bad and should feel bad, as those operating systems are now retired. They are entirely unsafe to use for anything, including Facebook, as there are root-level hacks which cannot be blocked with AV or firewall software. Me looking at this on my old laptop that runs Windows 2000, This would probably get better answers in r/pkmas. I use Linux, so I don't know. Updates are so fast I'd have to hurry to shut down, especially since I don't have to stop working in other programs. Looks at Windows-centric thread, chuckles. This happened to me once when my Surface was updating, it lost power. Completely screwed it up. Had to get on the phone with Microsoft for a few hours and get stuff downloaded to another PC and USB to transfer onto it to recover the Surface. I guess it's not always bad, but I will never update again with my computer unplugged. I accidentally unplugged a printer while it was doing a firmware update and it corrupted the file system. Had to flash the firmware from scratch. It had to finish updating when I turned it back on. It's when you're flashing hardware that you don't want to turn it off. Men in Black came to my house and took the PC. It blew up. My laptop can't hold a charge for even 1 second and the charger is loose. One day it fell out during an update and it couldn't start up. Had to reboot from a flash drive and lost everything.